Hello and happy Friday, everyone. I am Julie Riley. I am the social media manager with StreamYard, and I am so excited to bring you another episode of Learn with StreamYard. And this week, we are talking about a topic that gets brought up all the time, and that is adding music to your streams. There are so many people who want to be able to add that piece to it, and we have with us a guest today who is going to talk to us about the different ways, some of the rules around it, and all the things. So with that, I'm going to let him do his own introduction and bring up Michael Daniels.
Hey, how are you?
Hello. I am good. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. It's awesome to be anytime I can help StreamYard, because you guys do such a great thing. It's big to me. I mean, I love it. So
we're excited. Good. We got lots of comments rolling in. Everybody, good. Feel free to say hi, drop us a comment. If you are watching on Facebook, in the community, make sure that you click the link in the description to give StreamYard permission to see your name. Otherwise, I will just see Facebook user and I won't know who you are. So we want to be able to say hi. You can tell us where you're watching from and what you're most excited to learn today.
There you go. I started on YouTube about 2006, and it's interesting because I was learning all about this, and then all of a sudden everybody started doing help videos and all this kind of stuff, and I love helping people. So I started doing with Hangouts, I started doing the live streaming part. And then when you guys came along, one thing I loved about Hangouts was you were able to do what you're doing right now, put the comments up on screen and involve in the community. And so to me, and everybody in my community knows that I say this, I feel like this is true social media. What you're doing right here and what we're doing is true social media. All that other stuff is just garbage. So.
Yes. Well, it's the beauty of being able to say, hey, Sue, I am so happy that you love our countdown. Yes. And we're excited that we're going to be able to have some treats that we're going to offer to our community with some branded type of stuff like that here soon. So make sure you're part of our Facebook group. I'll pop that up real quick while we're because that's where we're going to drop that. If we have any specials, any kind of overlays, any video clips, things like that we can add to you, it's going to be in that Facebook community.
And it's an awesome community too. You do a great job with it too, I have to say, by the way. Kudos to you guys. Oh,
we got one of your Tinkering with Tech members.
That's right. That's right. There's one of my members. Absolutely. Jolin, good to see you.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So tell us more about adding music to your streams. Let's jump in.
So let's do that. So with that, one thing that I do a game show every Friday night, and then we have a show on Wednesdays, Tinkering with Tech show, that Heather Crafter, who's out there in the audience now, also does with me. What we do is we do bring sound in, but there's some things that I learned along the way. I've been doing this a very long time, so I'm just going to kind of show you some things. This is my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Michael Daniels, and you can go there and see. I have the Friday night game shows. Here's a list of all the game shows. You can go back and watch past ones. There'll be one tonight, so if you want to go watch, you can watch tonight. We have one that we'll be playing, and we'd love to have you in the audience because I involve the audience. And to me, it's the social part there. Now we're going to talk about sound. Okay. So sound, here's the deal with sound. Okay. So I'm going to go back to me. The thing is with sound, you have to be really careful. All of the channels, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, any of those that you send stuff to, you have to be really careful nowadays, because what's happening is Facebook saying, hey, you're playing YouTube music, that's not on our list, you can't, and you just have to be careful with that. My suggestion to you, and again, I always say this, I'm not a lawyer. I can give you recommendations on what's worked for me, but that's about as far as I can do. If you want to find out for sure, then you need to go talk to a lawyer. But what I would say is music, the key thing is, like, I focus on YouTube. That's my main focus. I'm monetized on YouTube. I'm not monetized on Twitch. I'm not monetized in Facebook or whatever. So my thing is, I focused on one thing. And I think it's a good idea to focus on that one thing. And so that's what I've chosen to do. So how I do that and what I do, I use, and anybody that uses YouTube knows that they have an audio library, and this is where you can pull from that audio library. What's interesting is you can use these, but you have to be careful. We've actually some people in our community actually told me about this that happened to them. They were using this that says that you're allowed to use the YouTube audio library license. You're free to use that. Any of these artists can change their mind. So you have to be cautious of that as well. So one thing you can do, and one thing that I've done, is you can do attribution required. By using that, you can see over here, now when I click on this over here to the right, you can see that it gives you have to put all of that in there. Now you're sort of covered, you know what I'm saying? And again, I am not a lawyer. I don't know, the laws on it and things like that. That's not what my forte is. What I try and do is just put something in there, and I use everything that I use, any song that I use or any tune, I've chosen it from that library and have been, knock on wood, have been safe with that. Okay. But that doesn't mean anything. Read all of the fine print of whatever you're on, whether it be Facebook, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Twitch, whatever, read the fine print, because all of them, almost all of them that I've read, and I've read the YouTube one pretty clearly, they can drop you for whatever reason. And the thing is okay, so then you say, okay, well, what about sites like, I'm going to go back down to, I'm going to show you the, hold on one second. Okay. The ASCAP. This is where you can find out and get more information on how to use and what to use for your music. There's more detail on there. I'm not going to go into a lot of this stuff, but I'll show you and go into some of that kind of stuff. And Julie, if you want me to answer some of the comments that are coming up, I can, or I can just keep going until I'm done with this part.
Yeah, let's get through this part, and then we can jump back in and kind of come back.
Whatever you want to do, because there's a lot of comments. A
lot of them are hellos. Everybody, I do have it saying, use #ask, and that's how we will know that you have like a definitive question. We want to make sure we can answer it for you.
There you go. Great. That's perfect. Okay. So what I was just going to say is you can use something like Streambeats. That's right here. Streambeats, anything like that. You can use that. The thing is you're taking a risk. Okay. Just because the problem is with that, I've seen this happen, and it happened to a friend of mine. He used Streambeats and it was free. Hey, listen, I have this music that I'm allowed to use. The only issue is he and about 1,500 other people were using it. And so YouTube decided, hey, wait a minute, this is a music that something happened and I'm not sure of this. Whose is this? YouTube can say, throw a copyright, and then come back and make you do all the legwork to say, hey, listen, this is okay. I paid for this, So it's kind of tough on that. How do you use music you have written? Okay, that's a great question too. Again, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't answer that straight up. But if you've written music, you are the copyright owner. So you're the one that created it. As long as it's your creation and it's solely yours, there are legal things. The best thing to do, I would say, there are lawyers out there, and that are not that expensive, I will say. And I don't use them, because I go straight to whatever channel I'm on and I do it that way. But I think that was a great question.
I will.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say Mitch Jackson is somebody to follow his channels. He is based out of California, so he does speak on California law. So you do have to double check with your state and your regulations as well. However, he has specialized in law for this crazy digital world that we live in. And so he is somebody that's a good resource that can give you at least that starting point. And he goes live and answers questions a lot. So definitely he's a good starting point to follow.
Nurse and Nerds had a good one up there. It says, do you use different music from platform to platform? That's a great question. Again, here's what I would say to that. Whatever one you're focused on, whatever one you're monetized on, whatever one you're using for that's what I would say, use their music from that. Because I do stream to Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, but I'm not monetized on those other ones. and not as concerned if they shut me down. Like I started the whole thing off. I started this in 2006. I don't want my channel shut down. So I'm going to do whatever YouTube and I go that route for that. I think that answers your question.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so when you're doing these, how are you then incorporating them into your stream?
There you go. Perfect. Okay. Good transition. Okay. So I'm going to show you again, my bottom screen. I use OBS. Somebody asked, how do I transition from these? I use OBS to do all of this, and I can do different transitions and different things. I use Voicemeeter. Voicemeeter is my way to bring in sound. I can bring in sound from anything coming from Windows. And then if like on the game show, when I bring people in on Zoom to bring them in the game show, I bring that sound in here so I can separate, and then my mic's here. I can separate all those sounds as I want. I can bring them in for different things. Voicemeeter is a whole different thing. This is something we teach in our community. I'm a part of Heather and I. We have a community. It's called Tinkering with Tech. We teach this stuff. We have workshops where we teach this stuff. Here's a good one. We use a mixer for our mic and guitar lead. How do we bring background music in at the same time? All the music is our own. The background track comes from iTunes on our laptop. Or mixer is attached to the same laptop. Wow. That is a lot going on right there. Again, see, now you're using an outside mixer. I'm using a mixer that is virtual. This is totally virtual. So to answer that specific question, I would have to see your setup and work through and try and to figure that out myself, because there are times when you have those kind of situations. I love the idea of the guitar lead, though. That's pretty cool. But the background music at the same time is very tough. The thing that you have to remember is we're on computers, okay? Your processing power and all that kind of stuff to pull them in at the same time, you may have a little bit of adjustment there. And I know Jolyn, who is in the audience, she does that. They do music. They have a music jam session, she calls it. It's pretty awesome. Oh, the Facebook user. There you go. I love Voicemeeter. Great to see someone else using it. Oh yeah, I use it. I've used it for about 7 or 8 years now. To me, what it does is it gives you the chance to isolate and bring in. There is a learning curve. I'm not going to lie. It's like anything. It's like OBS. All these. There is a learning curve to everything you do. You know what I'm saying?
You got to figure out the pieces to make it all work together.
But do it a bits at a time. Just learn a little bit, get that. Okay, I got that. Now I want to do this. So that's kind of how I bring the sound in. Also, I create videos that have the sound on it already. So I download where I showed before on the YouTube one where I showed that. Mm-hmm. I download that song or music and add it to a video. Here we go. If you have a copyright notice from YouTube, but they say it's not an issue, would you remove all videos? That's a great question. You know what? The only copyright strike I've only ever been hit once, okay? And it was because I played a movie in one of my videos, never for music. Now, so I can't answer that from experience, but what I can tell you is go read what it says on the YouTube credentials and you know, again, maybe ask a lawyer. Yeah. I mean, if you're really nervous about it, seriously, that's the best advice I can give you, because I don't want to give advice. Julie and I talked about this beforehand. We don't want to give advice on something that we're not
right. We cannot speak on the legal side of it. Yeah. But these are what we have found are working, using these and finding those windows that will overlap between the multi-platforms if you're, you know, multi-streaming. That's right. And what works today may not work tomorrow. So that's the thing too. If you've been in the social media industry more than a week, more than a day, if you've like turned Facebook on in the last 5 minutes, you've probably noticed that something has changed, and it is changing constantly. It never stops changing.
I'll go to my Game of Thrones. I'll go to my Game
exactly. Of Thrones. So what is working at this exact moment may be totally different in a week from now, a month from now, and it may work for a while, but that's the, you know, that's what keeps you on your toes in this industry.
I love it. You bring up the best point. Also, if you grew your whole business and whatever you're doing. Let's say you do, what is it? The aerobic exercises, and you have something, you want to play some music so people can watch you online, and you built that whole thing on Facebook, then use Facebook Music. Mm-hmm. Make that, if you've built that, or you're on you're doing a cooking thing and you're on Twitch, or you're on Facebook, or you do a gaming thing and you're on Twitch, whatever that is, and you want to play, use their stuff. If that's where you've built it's kind of like what you just said. I mean, if that's where you grew your channel, if that's where you started, then stick with that. I mean, there's less chances of you getting strikes and all that kind of stuff. That's what I would say. Yeah.
I'm going to answer this one real quick. So Mama T's Coin said, can you use OBS and StreamYard at the same time? And the answer is yes. You can see Michael is doing it right now. But even if Michael was not a guest, if he was hosting, he would still be able to do everything he's doing, integrating those two together. We have lots of people that are doing this in our industry, or lots of our StreamYard customers. And they love being able to integrate the two together because it just adds that next little element.
Yeah. 100%. We have a community. It's called Tinkering with Tech. I'm going to put that up on me. There you go. tinkeringwithtech.net. You can go check us out and see. Yeah, there you go. Learn Voicemeeter from Michael. That's true. That is another member of our community. Yes. No, absolutely. I mean, I will teach that. I teach that stuff. We have a community. It's a paid for community. You're welcome to join tinkeringwithtech.net. Go check out the website. It'll show you there. And if you want to join us. I mean, check it out for a month or whatever. And I do daily tips. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun. Okay, here's a question. All right. I make videos on Powerdirector app. Yep. Okay. Which I pay a subscription. Yep. And I get access to royalty-free music. Is that safe in my channel? Was to get monetized. Okay. So that's a great question. I'm glad you brought it up, and I understand that. Anytime you're using somebody else's royalty-free music, remember your agreement with Facebook or your agreement with YouTube when you signed up to get an account and you become monetized. It's very clear in there. And again, I'm not a lawyer. How many times have we said that now, Julie? We said that.
Yeah. That is the theme of this stream. We are not lawyers.
Just heed caution. Heed caution is what I would say. You can use it, and there's a lot of people get away with it. I know my partner Heather and I were talking about that, and I'm going to tell you. Oh, and she has a comment up there too. She says, "I've had Powerdirector music flagged on Facebook, but not on YouTube." There you go. So here's the deal: they can flag you whenever, or they can strike you for whatever. So heed caution. Once you do and once you know, there's Mike says, and if you multi-stream to Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube using YouTube's safe music, you may be flagged on Facebook, which is exactly what I said earlier. So yeah, heed caution, whatever it is. And so that's why I like to focus, and I do that. And that's why I like to focus on whatever one I'm monetized in. I want to stick with that one. That one's the most important to me. If I get flagged on those others, okay, whatever. And I just, heed caution that.
Yeah. Bach, to answer your question here, no, StreamYard does not have a sound library for copyright-free music. And that is because each platform has their own sound library of allowed music over there. And so that's where we're saying you're going to have to kind of find the music that works in the overlapping ones between each platform. If we provided you a library of copyright-free music, what works on one may not work on another. And we don't want you coming back to us going, but you said it was copyright-free. So we're going to leave that one in your hands there for you.
Amen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I put the QR code up there. That'll take, if you're on your mobile, you can get right to the website there too. I did that. So you can have that. Now it's covered up, but that's okay.
Well,
no, it's all right. It's okay. There you go. Now you don't know who we are. Oh my gosh. Which one's Julie? Which one's Julie?
I don't know. Yeah. So when you've gotten your music picked out, how are you bringing it into your stream?
Okay, so I usually create it and attach it with a video, like an intro or an outro. And then if you watch some of our game shows, it has like a sound playing in the background or whatever. And okay, so again, I'm going to show you guys. Now this is going to look funky because it's going to show you inside of my OBS. So I'm going to show you now OBS that I'm using right now. So here we go. So here's OBS, and over here it has an audio mixer built in. So for whatever scene, and when I switch to one of these scenes and it has music, like I have an opening or a 12-minute start when I used to do my shows this way, and so that music would be playing right here. So I bring that music in that I've already downloaded. Okay, so remember, I downloaded from YouTube, from the audio library, and I'm going to pull that on screen real quick. There we go. Oops, right there. Okay, so I download this from the audio library. I come over here and click download. Once I've downloaded it and I have that song, then I'm using the OBS. Like I said, when I do an intro, I attach the music to it as well. Now, if I switch this, you're not going to be able to see what I'm showing you. So I'm not going to switch that. But again, this is stuff that we teach in our community to do this exact kind of thing. So that's the process that we take and to get the music in. Or I create a video. I use Camtasia, whatever software you have. You can take that downloaded music, add it in there, and bring that in with different segments that you want to use and that kind of thing. But I show all this stuff. I have demos. We do it live and stuff like that. So what about nonprofit streams? Churches, for example, are streaming service. When you say what about that, like the music that you're playing,
that would be my guess is music that they're playing during those church services.
Okay, so here's the deal. I know in a lot of church services have gone to this only because, oh my gosh, so many can't, because of the COVID, you know what I'm saying? Everybody is out there doing music and playing things. Yeah, there you go. Michael's not a lawyer and he doesn't play one on TV. That's true. And he probably didn't say it a Holiday Inn Express. Hilarious. I love it. No, yeah. But so to give you, I can't really give you advice. I mean, as far as I know, a lot of times, okay, so here's the deal, because I've heard this before.
Right.
Let me try and explain it this way. People have said, hey, well, so-and-so plays music. How come they get away with it? And my partner, Heather, and I talked about it. She said, if I'm driving down a road and we're all doing 75 to 85 miles per hour, which is well over whatever the speed limit is, and one of us gets caught. I mean, it's just, I mean, it just happens sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's happens.
And so coming back to this question, Carlos, I will say also reach out to us in our StreamYard community on Facebook. We have a lot of other churches in there that they can also give you some tips and some tricks. Some of them may have done some work with some lawyers to find out what they're doing. I know the church service I watched for Christmas Eve, they were able to, I think, purchase the rights to that music and put it in the description and put the actual licensing codes there in the description for what they purchased. And that's how they were able to do it. But, you know, there's definitely there's a large community out there of those that are doing it. And so rally around those others and start to, you know, get some help from those that are doing the same thing as you in that industry.
That's a lot better answer than I had.
Oh, let's see. I'm scrolling through the comments, guys. So I'll keep finding your questions for you. Let's see. Oh, here we go. This one's an OBS one.
Okay. What is one big benefit of using OBS StreamYard together? I will check out your channel, Tinking with Tech. Yeah, Scott, you know, benefit. I mean, I don't know if it's a benefit because first of all, you have to have a system that's powerful enough to handle it. You have to have, you know, there's things that you have to make it work really well. I would say a benefit is things like me being able to put scrolling YouTube there where my YouTube channel is, or my scrolling Twitter, or my scrolling Instagram, doing that stuff on screen. I can just hit one button. I also use a Stream Deck to hit a button on my Stream Deck so I can just bring that in, and OBS works with Stream Deck. So, and I use that for my game show if you watch tonight, we have a game show tonight at 9 PM. If you watch tonight, you'll see all the stuff that I've got going on, all done with OBS to be able to bring that in. So that's, to me, is what the benefit is for me. Plus I like pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
that's just me.
You know, J-Vlog, you're exactly right. Not only is it platform based, but it can also be regional based. So different countries have different rules as well as to what's allowed out there. So There are lots of hoops to go through with this music, but the big thing is that once you get the music found that you're willing to use for those platforms, to then the way you can add it in to your countdown timers.
Yes.
You know, we did the training video 2 weeks ago with Olga from Waze, who did Waze is how I drive places. Wave. I have not had enough coffee this morning, clearly. So with Wave Video, that she did how to create your countdown timers, and in there you can, you know, add in those pieces of music. If you're creating your own countdown timers in Canva, here's one that we figured out. So like Canva has an amazing way to create countdown timers. Canva has music in there. Be wary though. Exactly. We made one, we used it, and the video got flagged for the music. Yep, I know it was royalty-free music. So what you can do in that system is create the timer with no music, download it, and then add it to whatever video editing platform program you're using, such as, you know, I use Camtasia personally. There's, you know, all of the Adobe Premieres, and there's a million different
iMovie. All the different ones.
iMovie will do this, where you can load that video into there and then drop your music into it to overlay it with that video.
One last thing I just want to mention real quick. I have a buddy of mine who plays, he's an hour long. He sits there and plays music on 7 different keyboards. Okay. And I bought the rights to music to that. So what I did is I put that, and I'm going to do it and play it for you, so you'll be able to hear it. Okay. Cause I legally bought this from him. So I'm going to show you, this is how we used to do our intro for the Tinkering with Tech show. Hopefully you can hear the music. I think you can. I don't know, maybe. Anyway. So anyway, I'm going to stop now, but he wrote that music. And I asked him, I said, okay, I'll buy that from you, but I just want to know, is it going to be okay for me to play that, you know, in public, because I don't want him to go and play that music too. And he said, absolutely, you bought it. So you can do that kind of thing too. You can have people write music for you and that kind of stuff. Just have to be careful that they don't play it too, because that's when you can get into trouble and stuff. So
let's see. I think I have a feedback. Okay, it's gone. It said, if I have a video opener for my show and I want to do a split end to cut to talent, but still have audio bed under, can I do that natively in StreamYard? At this time, no. We are adding in more and more functions and abilities every day. You know, we just added in the ability to share video now, long form video. So we are making so many updates and improvements. So that is one. I will put that in with our feature requests to our team. But yeah. Right now that you would need something like OBS in order to do something like that.
Or Voicemeeter. Yeah. Voicemeter would work on its own too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Voicemeters are great. I mean, I know a lot of people that have a whole system where they plug in all these mics and different things, and they have different people's sound, and they have their headsets all through there. And then they plug that into their computer and let that do all the work on the outside. I know they do that, kind of like the guy that was talking about the guitar and stuff. Where I use Voicemeter, it's all virtual. And I like to donate to the guy because he keeps up with the software, and it's great, but it's free. I kind of like free. So
let's see. Mama said, if you're using StreamYard, are you allowed to play music while live streaming, or is that not allowed here on YouTube? I use music in my videos. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's StreamYard or any other streaming platform. It's the YouTube itself. So StreamYard isn't the piece here of that element. Again, that's going to be that copyright, that YouTube library of music that you're going to want to be using music from. If you're just playing it in the background, like right here behind me, and the microphone's picking it up, then that's going to be something you're going to want to make sure you have downloaded from that library and that you're playing, because that's the music that at this time YouTube has said you can use.
Great point, Julie.
Yes.
I love it. No, that's good. Yeah, that's exactly right. Got some.
Scrolling through. Let's see. I think you're going to have to elaborate a little. Does what work every stream? So yeah, elaborate on that and we'll come back to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Fortunately, I have a
The
Rodecaster
Rodecaster
Pro,
Pro.
which is a really great tool for adding live calls to the stream as well as music beds. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
great.
Yeah. That is fantastic. Love that.
Let's see. So tell us,
There was
have you always done your music through OBS, or have you used any other tools?
Voicemeeter.
Okay.
Yeah, Voicemeter, definitely
Yeah, we did
Voicemeter.
talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. And you can bring in music. The thing is, with and like the Rodecaster he was talking about and stuff like that, bringing it through that way and pushing the sound through, making sure that your Windows system sounds or whatever. I don't use a Mac, so I don't know that much about that, but I'm sure they have ways of doing that kind of thing too. I would think. And I know, I think it was Scott Silva asked something about loopback on a Mac or something, and I don't use a Mac, so I can't answer that one. But I think Mike, who's out there, put a comment answering that for you.
Maybe I would have to scroll and look for that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but that's all right. I mean,
so let's see. We have an ask for you.
Okay. I found in the past that using OBS and StreamYard slowed down my laptop. I have 16 gigabytes of RAM, so I suppose I need to tweak something. What would you recommend me to check? That's a great point. I have a very powerful, my recommendation is get the best one you can afford. Make sure you got a good graphics card. Make sure you got good, the sound part. One thing is beautiful is StreamYard's, since it's using Chrome, at least I think you're using that browser. Since StreamYard's using Chrome, all of the processing's going on in there, and then the OBS is on your computer. So yes, it will be taxing on your system. I know that because I used to. If you watch some of the old game shows that I've done, I did not have a beefed up system. I say get a gaming system if you can afford it, whatever. I mean, make it worth your while. Make sure you have a SSD hard drive, all that stuff. Yes, all those things can become important for sure.
Yeah. I know I've been known to have my laptop lifted up and a fan underneath of it running to cool it off and to bring the system down a little. So
exactly.
We have, how can I play my performance tracks while singing? I have trouble connecting my Yamaha AG03 mixer USB interface or iRig 2.
When you say, yeah, you have trouble connecting. Okay. So do you mean like, they're not in sync, or do you mean that it's just, you just cannot connect and get it to work? I don't know that I would be able I couldn't test it because I don't have those things. But I would say how you bring them in on the tracks, maybe. That would be my guess. I mean, I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. Yeah, and Mike out in the comments says CPU power is critical for OBS. It is. It's a resource hog. It is. I get that. And there is one out there that I started out with when I first started doing this, and I believe he was on one of the StreamYard shows. I can't remember his name. Neil, I think it was, has used Manicam.
Yes.
They were talking about Manicam. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I had Manicam at first. OBS just went a little bit further and I use it. So, and it does a little bit more and I can do some more things. And I really like the way it's set up. So,
yeah.
Yes.
So SMA Sky says, I use music from Kevin MacLeod. He offers his music free to use with attribution. Always put credits to him in the description of the video and on the end of the videos in a scroller on live streams. Yeah. Yep. So, and that's usually
as well.
Yeah. The more accreditation you can give an attribution to the music that you're using, the more proof behind your rights to use that will oftentimes help. If you do get flagged, that you can, appeal it. They will start to look at your descriptions, your video, and go a little bit beyond the flags. Sometimes the AI systems will flag things inadvertently. Sometimes they're flagging them because they are needing to be flagged, but you can at least have the option to appeal generally and get a little bit deeper dive review.
But that's a tough process. I know somebody that got flagged and it took them 3 months just to get a response.
Yeah, it's not fast. So try to avoid that.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to teach today.
Yes.
Is basically, let's try and follow whatever their guides are as best as you can, do the best you can. But like you said, if you can add the attribution for that person, give them credit, I think that's awesome. I think it's wonderful to do those kind of things because it's important.
Yeah. So SKs says, please explain how to add the music to your live stream and control the volume of the music. So I know we went through a little bit that showing your OBS there. If you want to kind of go back through that a little bit on how to control your volume and show that.
Yeah, I'm going to actually show you on my Voicemeeter because you're going to be able to see it visually. So this is going to be a good one here. So let's go right to, so this is my Voicemeeter right here. You can see me talking. Okay. So you see me talking and it's bouncing right here. I can just control my volume immediately by doing this. And then I can bring it back up to here so you can hear me real loud. So my voice changes as I'm doing that. What's nice is I can do that same thing with my Windows music that comes through. If I'm playing Windows music, then this can be adjusted right here too. And it tells me when I'm in the red. I can look at the meter whenever I'm doing it. And then over here is where I had Zoom or whatever I have hooked up to those things. So you can see if I get here, I'm really pushing it, and it's probably really loud. I don't know, maybe it's not, but this is the way I do that with the volume control. Now, as far when using OBS and Voicemeeter, he says, using music through Voicemeeter, is it possible to have the music play while other guests are talking? Absolutely. Yes. That's why I do this, because I can bring in my Windows sound right here, and then my guest might be speaking on this one over here if I have them coming in through here. Now, StreamYard, because the way StreamYard does it, here, let me go back to me. Because the way StreamYard does it, they don't isolate sounds like that. You can't separate sounds. So that's why I use Voicemeeter and bring people in using Zoom, like when I do my game show and stuff. That way I can control the sounds. I can mute them, have music, have a little bit of music playing or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. StreamYard does not isolate those sounds coming in the way that you can do with. So that's why. Like, for example, if someone's talking, you can bring music as a background if you wanted to do that. I use most of my stream as music when I stream on OBS, but does the music work on StreamYard when you are streaming? So, okay, so yes, if you bring, it's all how you bring that sound. That's the kind of stuff that we teach in our community. We teach people how to, so they're not hearing the sound. Why aren't they hearing the sound? We need to be able to set this setting. Then you got to go up into the settings of OBS, make sure that your audio and your system settings, I mean, like I said, it can be intense, but if it's something you want to get to and you want to be able to do, yes, there are possibilities that you can do all those things. Hopefully that was kind of clear. And you understood there. The performance track won't play into StreamYard. Any other suggestion for playing performance tracks while singing? When you say performance tracks, is that the ones that bounce whenever you're singing? I think. I'm not sure. If you're talking about on OBS, because I know that's a side feature that they have. Just
Queenie, if you could elaborate on that, and we'll come back.
Yeah. Glad to. And that might just be an issue with that particular software too. And it could be where it's set up. If it never worked at all, it could be where it's set up. It has to be set up. And I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things that can play into that. Have you tried either Streamlabs or StreamElements OBS? And do you have preference? Better widget? I mean, that's a great question. I use elements of Streamlabs OBS. That's why I bring in, like when somebody subscribes to my channel, or if someone were to right now just subscribe to my channel, this big explosion would go off and your name would come up. I have that coming in through Streamlabs OBS. I just use some of their tools, but I've stuck with OBS because OBS has virtual camera. Now, I heard Streamlabs OBS has virtual camera. I'm already taught and learned in this. This is what I teach. So this is kind of where I stay and go with. I just stay with the regular OBS. Nothing has enticed me to go over to the Streamlabs OBS. And there has been things that like add-ons for OBS, but they don't do it for Streamlabs OBS. So that's why, because I do some of the things where you'll see tonight, I bounce people on the screen and then bounce them back, those kind of things. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I have a good time with it, but I've been doing this a long time too. Next What we got?
Well, still waiting on Queenie to elaborate on that one. So once she elaborates a little, we'll come back.
Okay. So basically the biggest thing to get out of today, the biggest thing that I can say is just really double check, dot your I's, cross your T's, double check with your platforms, whatever platform you're mainly on or whatever you're focused on. And that's the one you want to monetize, that kind of thing, that you'd be afraid to lose. If you're afraid to lose all of them, I get that. But then what I would do is maybe separate. I mean, maybe do a live stream to Facebook today, one to YouTube tomorrow. I know that, I don't know if you've ever had Miss Eileen on, but Miss Eileen is great and she's in the community a lot. She does that. She'll do something just on Instagram. She'll do something just on.
Yeah, we haven't had her on yet.
Right. She's a good one, though. She's a good one, but she's in the community. She's a great one there.
Yeah. So Queenie elaborates, said, performance tracks that are used in place of musicians. I'm trying to do a live performance and I don't have OBS.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to do that with StreamYard. I mean, yeah, not right now, I don't think.
Not without other elements, the OBS or the ability to piece in the individual audio tracks and things like that.
Exactly. I'd encourage you to go watch one of the game shows. You can see I have 18 windows open. I have Zoom, Voicemeeter, OBS, StreamYard, my web browser. I got all kinds of stuff that go in there. So you can you can see that to bring all those elements in and make them all work together, it can be interesting.
And guys, we are going to have a blog available for you very, very soon that will list 20 free and paid places to look for music. And so you can start to pull those in. I will give you a sneak little preview of it here. Let's see.
This is awesome. This is great.
We're gonna, there we go. So this is going to be, a list of places that you can go for free and paid. So you're going to see your YouTube audio library, and I'm going to go through these fast because I don't want to sit here all day listing these for you. There's 20 of them. Your Facebook sound collection. So that's where we said you can check these individual libraries that are on each of these platforms. You have the YouTube audio library. You have the Facebook sound collection. No copyright sounds. Income Tech. I'm gonna make sure I say these right. Ben Sound. I've used Ben Sound for quite a few things that haven't been streaming. I haven't tried them in the streaming side of things, but I do like their audio library. It's got some good options. Pretzel, Pond 5, Audio Jungle, Licked, Epidemic Sound, Audio Hero, Artlist, Soundstripe, Envato Elements, Shutterstock, Hook Sounds, Premium Beat, Storyblocks, Music Bed, and Filmstro. So those are quite a long list. And as soon as that is available, we will have that in the link of the description of this video for you. So we want to make sure that we shared that with you and that it's coming. So we'll have a good resource for you to go look at options. So you don't have to come back and watch the whole video, to get your That's resource awesome. There. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say too, because some people I know use mobile, or they're on a Pixelbook or something, because StreamYard makes it so convenient for you to be able to do that. I love it. Love it. It's awesome. Just make sure if you're at a cafe and stuff like that, and there's music playing in the background, you got to be careful of that kind of stuff too. I know we talk about that all the time, and just be cautious of those kind of things too, because you may be like, oh my gosh, I didn't play a thing, and all of a sudden, I got this strike and I don't know why. So.
I used to stream every Friday with my past business from a brewery. Luckily, we had become friends with the owner of the brewery, and we were there every week and bringing business into them for the stream that we were doing, that she would gratefully turn the music off for the 1 hour that we were streaming so we didn't get hit. And so sometimes, make friends with the people you're streaming if they've got music playing, so you can hopefully go get them to ask, to do things like that. Because yes, that is one thing you have to be very, very careful about, those outside sounds that are around you.
Yep. Mobile is, you can it's when you have the most risk on some of those for sure. I mean, you definitely have that. Somebody asking you, Julie,
Yes.
what are
So I am using the Sony a6000 camera. So it's the mirrorless camera. And then I have that plugged in through the Elgato Cam Link to be able to stream that in. And so that is my webcam, is a real camera. I upgraded, probably in November from a Logitech C920, which served me great for years, but I was ready to step it to that next level. And so that was the investment that I made to step it up to that next level.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's great. It's a good one for sure. Yeah, anybody that wants to reach out to me and stuff, like I said, we teach this kind of stuff. Like I mentioned before, tinkeringwithtech.net, there it is right there. Be sure to go over and check out the channel. If you go to youtube.com/Michael Daniels, I have my YouTube channel where we do a show and we have guests on talking about stuff just like this. And it's not really, I'm not trying to sell myself, but what I can help you with the sounds and stuff like that you're trying to get in. If again, I'll there you go. Love Logitech. Your camera. Yeah, it is. Your camera looks great. It really does. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. And part of it is once you get it, then also going in, tinkering with the settings, and making sure all that, and then the lighting. And my lighting is not fancy. I don't have, the fancy Elgato key lights. I would love those. They're on my wish list, but I have a ring light on a tripod on one side and a good LED desk lamp that is angles. And so it's angled, so it's facing up towards me. So it brings the light in from both sides. So that's kind of and we'll have some lessons for you in the future on lighting and some on cameras. We're working to bring you guys every 2 weeks, just somebody new that can teach you all of these things and level up your streams, because that's really what we want you to do, is we want you to be able to level up what you're doing in the industry. So he asked, the music elements is nice. How did you get it with the free StreamYard? So this is not part of StreamYard. This is using the music elements that are coming from each platform, such as YouTube or Facebook, from their libraries. They have music libraries, and that's where we talked about that here. I'll scroll up to let's see, let me scroll up to the YouTube one. It's at the top.
Yeah, I think it was at the very top.
So you have the YouTube audio library. So when you're in your YouTube dashboard, you can go down here and you'll see your dashboard content, your playlist. Down at the bottom, there's audio library. And that's where you can search through their audio library to find those music elements. Mm-hmm. And so so then we're bringing it in from those individual platforms, from the YouTube or from Facebook, or using some of those other sound places that have found music that works. You're still having to be careful and, really do your due diligence to make sure that it is a truly copyright piece or a piece that you've purchased the rights to use.
Yeah. Amen. And don't take this the wrong way. I was glad to hear that you guys had an issue with this, one of the things that you were playing, because it wasn't on Facebook or whatever. Not because I was glad to hear that, but what I was glad to hear is that it can happen to anyone. It doesn't really matter how big you are or how small you are. I know. Okay. So for example, let's say some of these big YouTubers, right? And they play this music. Well, first of all, the band's probably going to be happy that you're playing their music on that big person's channel. The other thing is, YouTube's probably happy because you're getting monetization. You're giving them monetization, so they probably don't want to copyright strike that big guy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, right. Like I said, they can pick and choose. That's their right, and that's what they do. So just heed caution. I think that's the biggest thing.
So I know we're kind of wrapping up on the hour here. I think we should do a giveaway for some StreamYard merch. So let me pull this up. And today you can win a StreamYard pillow. So type in the comments, #LoveStreamYard, and we will pull a winner here in just a minute. So we'll give you guys a minute. I know there's always the wonderful delay of live video. So we'll give you guys a minute to start putting those into the comments. So just use #LoveStreamYard.
Love it.
And for those who have watched our town hall episode, I hope one of these days that I will be able to get my hands on the giveaway platform that Dan uses. I don't even have it. So it is on my list of ones. So yes. So we'll give everybody a minute to get those in. And then the winner, if you will message, once we select the winner, you can message the StreamYard Facebook page and send us your address, and I will get that sent out to you. Probably today. The company we use is really fast on shipping, so I would not be surprised if it doesn't hit the mail this afternoon. Okay, so we'll give everybody, just one more minute for that. And while we're talking about that, we'll bring up our next show is going to be on February 26th, and we are going to have Bradley Vinson. And so Bradley Vinson is going to come in, and he is going to be talking about lower thirds. And so we're going to be excited to have him come in and discuss our lower thirds options. And that will be on February 26th at 12 p.m. Eastern. And if you are in a different time zone, use a time zone converter and do the math, because you do not want me trying to convert your time zone. I will get it wrong inevitably. I'm Central Time, and I even have to stop and think about, okay, 12, that's 11. I got to go backwards. And so use a time zone converter and get your timing right. But it will be 12 p.m. Eastern Time with Bradley Vincent. Okay, so I think we have got everybody in. And I've pulled it over into my little wheel of names program. I'm going to pull it. And our winner looks like Richard Clarkson.
Hey,
so,
Richard.
Hey. So
he's a community member, as a matter of fact. So that's awesome.
Well, I'm excited. I did not know that. So that's awesome. I'm super excited. So awesome. DM the StreamYard Facebook page with your address, and I will get that sent out to you, Richard. So I'm super excited for that. With that, do you have any last thoughts that you want to give everybody and impart them with?
Well, all I want to say is that the only reason that I use StreamYard is because of what you're doing with those comments and everybody else, and bringing in the engagement. Seriously, there's other platforms out there. There's things you can do, but they started out with this and did a lot of stuff. Maybe not way back. I mean, way back, like I said, I used to use Hangouts because it did a full page and you could put the comments up there. And I said this to you before the show. You can sit there and talk back and forth, you know what I'm saying, and have a talking show. You can go watch TV for that. But this, when you bring in this, yeah, nice job, Richard. That's awesome. Yes. This is what's important. This is what the big deal is. I mean, and to me, this is true social media, and it is definitely the future. In some ways, there's some positive that came out of COVID. I always try to look at the positive side of things, and to me, you guys embellish that, and what you guys do. Yeah. I don't need the full blown professional version of StreamYard, but I pay for it anyway because I want you guys to have the money to be able to do and make it better and stuff like that. So, well, we
appreciate that. And really, we want to be able to build our community and really rally around all of the members and users of StreamYard to help you have a better stream, to make it, our 3 pillars, our ease of use, professional streams, and stability. And we want to be able to continually provide that to you. And that's why sometimes, when we have a new feature update coming out, it might take us a little bit longer to get it because we want to make sure that we're not rushing it and giving you something that isn't going to work correctly. We're going to make sure it runs through all the tests and it's working to the best. Richard, I saw you said you're not sure where to go. If you go to Facebook and go to StreamYard, Michael said he'll help you out. But yeah, if you go to StreamYard on Facebook, and then just send us a Facebook message there. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. You guys are great. I love what you're doing. You're a good addition too. You've done a great job, Julie. I appreciate it too. Thank you.
I appreciate that. We will say, make sure if you are over on YouTube, subscribe to our page so you'll get notified when we go live or when we add new videos. If you are not a part of our Facebook group, that is where the conversations are happening. There is so many helpful members over there in our community. It's magical and it's growing by the day. And we've got some helpers in there helping us to make sure that we're getting your posts and your comments approved quickly and really able to get your questions answered. And if we can't answer, we can point you over to the right person who can, whether it's our support team, getting there, or somebody else in the community that can help you get those questions answered. So with that, I will say thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Michael, for sharing your knowledge and your expertise. I can't wait to chat with you some more and possibly have you on, to go into a deeper dive of some of your other skill sets in your, video backgrounds and some of your OBS pieces. So we'll have to talk about that at another time. But
sure. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Yeah.
Let's see. We got one more. It looks like, where can I suggest some features for StreamYard? So if you go to, let me see if I can type this in a banner here for you real quick. And this is one of the beauties of StreamYard, is how quick you can do things. You can go to StreamYard.com/contact. And there is a place to add feature requests. There's a link in there that will take you to a Google form where you can add feature requests. So that's all you gotta do is go to StreamYard.com/contact, and you can add in those feature requests there. So I hope everybody has a good Friday, has a wonderful weekend. If you are anywhere in the middle part of the country, I hope you are staying warm, because it is frigid and Arctic here. If you're in Australia celebrating summer, I'm jealous. So yes, have a wonderful time. It's Valentine's Day. Go do something sweet for your sweetheart and enjoy the weekend. And we're going to put up our thank you, everyone.